Hello friends, welcome into the Cowboys Report. I am your host, Tom Downey. Let's discuss the Dak Prescott contract situation on today's show. Now, if you follow me on Twitter, at @WhatGoingDowney, you know that I was recently, not big mad about the Dak situation, more salty, so I guess I'm Cole Beasley on that front, when Carson Wentz got paid. So here's the latest on Dak Prescott's attention, and most importantly, we'll break down in particular how Carson Wentz's deal has impacted the Cowboys, frankly, in a negative way when it comes to Dak's deal. Now, of course, as you know, Prescott entering the final year of his first contract with the Cowboys, and the Cowboys and Dak are working towards an extension, and both sides think that's going to get done. I think it as well. At some point, probably before the preseason, maybe even before truly training camp gets underway, the Cowboys will work out a long-term deal with Dak Prescott. My issue, and it's been the way for quite some time with this Cowboys organization, they tend to lack urgency in contract talks. Now, yes, it does take two sides to get a deal done. It does take more than just the Cowboys trying to get a deal done. Dak also has to be willing to sign at that moment. With that said, we know this to be a fact about contracts. The longer it takes, the more the deal will end up costing. That has been very true already this season for the Cowboys. And frankly, I believe they made a mistake by letting Carson Wentz sign before Dak Prescott. Yes, they were negotiating, but the Cowboys could have pushed hard like the Eagles did with Carson Wentz. So let's take you back to before the offseason began. This is how the quarterback contract market looked like. Aaron Rodgers, $33.5 million per year. Matt Ryan, $30 million. Those were the only two players in the NFL who were making more than $30 million. That is no longer the case. The Cowboys have let Russell Wilson sign for $35 million per year. They've let Big Ben sign for $34 million per year. They've let Carson Wentz sign for $32 before they got their deal done with Dak Prescott. I have said multiple times on this show that if the Cowboys get the deal done now, or I guess then, with Dak Prescott, that would save them money because in 2 or 3 years, the deal wouldn't even be top 10. It wouldn't have been top 5 if the Cowboys had locked in before Wentz. They might have gotten it closer to under $30 million. That's really not the case, as we'll break down here in a minute. But first, I want to know from you guys, how upset are you that Carson Wentz was extended first? Grade on a scale, I'll throw in even 0 as an option this time around. 0 to 10. 0 means you're not concerned at all, you're feeling fine about it. 10 means you're big mad, you're very upset about it. For me, I'm actually in that 6 to 7 range, normally higher than we go here on the scales on the Cowboys Report. I'm not happy about it. I know it's not all of the Cowboys' fault. There's blame to go around for both, but this has been a common MO for the Cowboys front office. Deadlines make deals for them, and the deadline apparently hasn't come, and in the end, it's probably cost them more money. Now, we'll break down the full in-depth here, what the Carson Wentz means and how the money's gone up. But first, folks, giveaway alert. We've got a free set of awesome Cowboys coats. You see it right there on your screen from Playbook products to give away. Now, make note, these are not normal, boring coasters. They're laser etched with some of the Cowboys' greatest plays. I'm talking Larry Brown's second INT in Super Bowl 30, Michael Irving's 2 TDs in a span of 18 seconds in Super Bowl 27 against the Bills, Felix Jones' record playoff TD run, and the halfback pass back in Super Bowl 12. Now, here's how you can win. DM me on Twitter at @WhatGoingDowney. Right there, I'll put it in the comments as well here on Facebook and on YouTube. DM me a Father's Day photo of yourself, either with your dad or with your kids if you have kids, at @WhatGoingDowney, since it is, almost Father's Day. Oh, by the way, we'll feature a bunch of the photos on the show later this week, even if you don't win. And if you don't Twitter, you can also just DM the Cowboys Facebook page if you're watching there. Again, we've only got one to give away, so make sure you DM me at @WhatGoingDowney. If you don't get those, if you don't win, of course, head over to playbookproducts.com. Use promo code ChatSports. They'll give you 10% off. Now, back over to Dak Prescott. And the reality is for the Cowboys, they're going to pay him a lot of money. Here are his numbers over the past 3 years. Guess what? Those are really good numbers. I know some think Dak is inaccurate, which I think by now we've dispelled the accuracy myth for the most part because he completes above average rest of the NFL. The numbers are great. And at minimum, they're comparable to Carson Wentz. So here's the deal that Carson Wentz got from the Philadelphia Eagles. 4 years, $128 million with and I'll make a big note here, an impressive $107 million of that deal guaranteed. That ends up equating to $32 million per year. Now, maybe it's not the baseline, but this is the template for a new Carson Wentz or for a new Dak Prescott extension after Wentz signs his deal. And Dak Prescott guess what, folks? He can make an argument that he should be paid just as much, if not more, than Carson Wentz. Here are the raw numbers. And yes, Carson Wentz has missed time with an injury, which frankly works in favor of Dak Prescott. Dak's been healthy. Carson Wentz has not been healthy. That's the reality for Wentz. And yes, there are more games for Dak Prescott, but guess what? Carson Wentz has thrown the ball almost as much. Dak has been more accurate. He's got more yards. Yes, he has fewer touchdown passes, although I'll make note, rushing number is not included here. Fewer interceptions and a higher yards per attempt. And by the way, he's won more than Carson Wentz has. So who would you rather have at quarterback? Type D for Dak, W for Wentz. I think there is a legitimate debate about both sides, in large part because Carson Wentz has not always been healthy. That's a big factor in favor of Dak Prescott. So let me know in the comment section. Type D for Dak, W for Wentz. I think at minimum, it should be closer than maybe the national media would want to say. And if that's the case, well, then all of a sudden we're right back to where we were at the start. $32 million per year for Wentz, that's kind of in line for Dak Prescott. Now, we'll take you back to several months ago when I first did my Dak Prescott contract extension projection. This is what I had projected, and I'll throw in my own caveat here. This was back when Carson Wentz had not signed. It was before many of the big extensions. 5 years, about $29.5 million total. I thought that was a good balance of still kind of being team-friendly, but also getting Dak paid. Well, that's no longer the case. If Dak Prescott settles for under 30, that is a steal. And after Carson Wentz's deal, anything less than $32 million per year is now a team-friendly contract. So a team-friendly deal would still be 5 years, $155 million. Will bump up the guaranteeds to $110. That's $31 per year. If Dak Prescott signs for less than what Carson Wentz got, that is a win for the Cowboys. That's the only way you can legitimately approach it, because he's going to sign after Wentz, and normally, not always, normally, players in the same tier, it's the one who signs last that gets paid the most. So I ask you this question. Did the Cowboys make a mistake by not already extending Dak? I think yes, they did. Now, it's not all of their fault. I think Dak does share some of the blame here as well. But I do not believe, despite what some will spin, that the Cowboys have been as urgent as they could have been and or should have been in this deal. The longer they wait, the more this goes up. Now, we'll also throw out a Dak-friendly contract extension projection here. 5 years, $165 million, $33 million per year, one more than what Carson Wentz got. And again, I think this is the reality of where we sit right now. That Dak Prescott can legitimately go to the Cowboys and say, hey, yeah, this is what Carson Wentz got. Yeah, that's cool. I get that. And yeah, he was a higher pick. I've been a significant discount for you. I've got better numbers than Carson Wentz, and I've never been hurt. That's a big deal for Dak Prescott. So that number is only going up for the Cowboys after Carson Wentz signed his deal. Now, we'll break down how else this contract could be affected here. But first, send me your Father's Day photos, guys. We'll feature them on a show this week, so DM me on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney. We'll put it on the show for you guys here later on in the week. Send me a Father's photo. It does not have to be with you and your dad in a Cowboys jersey, for example. My dad, not a Cowboys fan. But if you have a Cowboys photo, it's always cool there as well. And if you're watching on Facebook, you can also DM the page. That's facebook.com/CowboysWorldDallas. But again, we will feature that on a show later on this week. So again, make sure you guys DM me. Now back to the Dak Prescott-Carson Wentz situation, as I'll call it. For Wentz, this is what the contract looks like with the years left on his deal. This is an important note I'll make as well, because this is significant. Carson Wentz has 6 years, $154 million left on his deal. It comes into $25.6 per year. The way that contract works, it keeps it down just a little bit. It decreases that number. The same is true with Dak Prescott. Even if you include this rookie year left, even if you give him what Carson Wentz got, I'll use that same baseline there of about $32 million per year, it drags it down just a little bit. Now, it is still a little bit higher than Wentz gets per year because Wentz has 2 years left, and one of those is higher than Dak Prescott's little mini $2 million year. But in the end, it comes out to about $26 million per year. If you get that extension done now, and you can factor in, with let's just say it's a 4-year deal or a 5-year deal, whatever it is, it does bring it down from above 30 to now you pull it back down into that ridiculous $25 million a year so many people thought he was going to get out there. So before we sign off here, let me know in the comments section, What will be the average per year amount for Dak Prescott's next contract? Let me know. Again, I was hopefully and cautiously optimistic that the Cowboys could get it done for under 30. But that came under the assumption that the Cowboys would get this deal done before Carson Wentz's deal was completed and or Jared Goff's deal. That is no longer the case. Now, maybe the end amount comes in pretty similar, but I think the hopeful point is no longer $30 million or less. It is now 32 or less because that's what Carson Wentz got. And fair or not, with the way contracts work, Dak Prescott has a real claim to get a similar amount. So let me know in the comment section what you think Dak will get paid per year on this new contract. Hey Cowboys fans, thanks for watching the Cowboys Report. If you haven't already, click right here to subscribe to our channel for all the best Cowboys coverage on the internet. That's news, rumors, highlights, mailbags, film studies, and a whole lot more. And I'm making your lives a little bit easier as well with the next Cowboys Report video right here.